Another gorgeous night for baseball, and it's game number 2 between the Cardinals and the second place now, San Diego Padres in the National League West. Last night in game number 1, pitching was a story, but so was the hitting of Jon Jay, the rookie, first time up. Would fly one to deep right and over the head of former Cardinal Ryan Ludwig. That would wind up being a double. But then he had 2 hits, the infield variety, off the pitcher's stopper, and then Jay would add another single later in the game. Our Jim Hayes had a chance to catch up with one of the stars, Jon Jay, after the game last night.
3 hits for Jon Jay, and this one scored a couple of runs as well. Big win for you guys, and you guys needed one.
Definitely a big win. You know, we had a rough series against the Cubs, and you know, we're just trying to play out the rest of the season hard, and you know, it's great to get a big W today. And Westbrook did a great job of keeping us in the game, and you know, just his tempo out there was great.
I know you guys wanted to get some runs for Jake because he hasn't gotten a ton of run support, and he's pitched well since coming to the Cardinals.
Oh, he's done a great job for us. I mean, you know, you see him day in, day out. You know, he does his job, gets ground balls, and you know, it was nice to get an early lead today, and you know, and just kind of ride it out.
You mentioned still playing hard. What's the approach with you guys? You're not watching scoreboards, are you? You're just trying to focus on the game at hand?
Yeah, we just got to play hard the rest of the way, and you know, you never know what's going to happen. And as long as you know we can continue to do that, then I think you never know what's going to happen.
You've had a great deal of success this year. Big night tonight. What are the adjustments that you've had to make along the way, if any?
Well, you know, I went to a little funk now, and you know, I just watched a lot of film and continue to, you know, my routine and stuff, and I found a little something I was doing, and you know, I'm just trying to, you know, Big Mac did a good job of helping me with that, and I'm just trying to roll with it now.
Along with Al Rabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Al, you think about a rookie at this level trying to make adjustments. Not an easy thing to do, but Jon Jay has done that.
Yeah, but you got to believe in your ability, and the biggest thing about him, he's getting on base in front of the big guys in the middle of the order.
Real big story last night. Jake Westbrook, maybe his best outing as a Cardinal.
Well, he was outstanding. He does what he should do, and that is he got 16 ground ball outs. 8 shutout innings, that's 24 outs, 16 times they got themselves out on ground balls. So Jake has to pitch that way, down in the zone, have him hit the ball in the dirt, and let his defense do the rest.
And he did a lot of that defense as well, leading that double play. The Cardinals turned a couple last night, and this evening here in game number 2, the Cardinals face a very tough pitcher and Matt Latos, and it'll be Kyle Loesch for St. Louis. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but first, as we head to break, don't forget it's a Friday night. That means it's time for a Hungo Award. Who could be those nominees? We'll talk about that when we come back. It's baseball tonight. Game number 2 on your home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. for the San Diego Padres tonight and a chance to play spoiler in the National League West Division. Hey, Missouri fans, this Saturday, Mizzou tomorrow takes on San Diego State, and many video providers in our Cardinals viewing area will offer this game on pay-per-view for $39.95. Access your digital program guide or call your video provider to order the game today, or visit right now foxsportsmidwest.com for details. Mizzou pay-per-view tomorrow. Will kick it off at 6 from Faurot Field in Columbia. Mizzou and San Diego State. We hope you join us. Skip Schumacher at second base with Aaron Miles taking their ground balls, getting ready for baseball. Let out a sigh. We'll tell you what we mean when we come back. Cardinals for game number 2 of this 4-game set. A look at what the Cardinals have done against potential candidates for the Cy Young Award. Roy Halladay, 7 innings. He goes to 1-0 against St. Louis this year. Yvonne Jimenez was outstanding. Cardinals hit 115 that night in Colorado. Tim Hudson, though, roughed up over the weekend. As you see, that was 7.36 ERA in a couple of starts against St. Louis. This guy, though, flying under the radar, Matt Latos. They say that he'll throw 91, 92, but when a strikeout is on the line, he'll get it up to 96, 97. 4 quality pitches. Meanwhile, Kyle Loesch is coming off a win his last time out. It was on Sunday against the Atlanta Braves, looking to carry that over to tonight. It was a team photo today here at the ballpark. Tony La Russa, Red Shandies, the Redbirds. First pitch from Busch Stadium coming up next. Do by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. And by Chevy's expert auto service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. Time to wake up. It's baseball time on this Friday night. Game number 2 between the Padres and the Cardinals, as the Cardinals take to the field. St. Louis trying to make it 2 wins in a row over the Padres in this 4-game set. Bud Black has a lineup that reads like this against Kyle Loesch. Will Venable, their speedster and center fielder. Then Jerry Hairston Jr., Miguel Tejada, Adrian Gonzalez, Brian Ludwig, Chase Headley, Yorvi Torrealba, Aaron Cunningham, who was the leadoff man last night, Matt Latos, who's hitting 125. Kyle Loesch coming off a win last time out. That was Sunday night against the Atlanta Braves. And this is our Marshall Wireless sprint starter.
Well, let's see if he can't build off of that. And really, I think it's at the stage now. Physically, he's very sound. Had enough starts since his return after having the forearm surgery. His ability, can he get the ball down in the zone? Throw that sinking fastball, get his ground balls. If he does that, he'll be fine.
And the defense behind Kyle Loesch is brought to you by Dobbs as we go around the horn. Holiday, Rasmus, and Jay, who had the big night offensively. Tyler Green struck out twice, committed an error at third base, back in there tonight. Ryan Schumacher and Pujols along the infield. Loesch and Molina, the battery. Should be interesting in these final couple of weeks to see how Tony La Russa will play these young guys. For instance, Tyler Green getting his start at third base. If there's a closing situation and you're officially eliminated, do you go with the Ryan Franklin? How much does Albert Pujols play down the stretch once he gets home run number 40? You know, all those things come into play for Tony La Russa.
It really does, and I think right now you really want to find out a little bit more about the younger players, who is really going to be part of your team next season. Who can you count on? I know there's an old baseball adage, don't get tricked in spring training or September. But, you got to find out, and you got an opportunity.
Will Venable is hitting .229, 12 home runs, and 48 RBIs. One thing you always hear from Tony La Russa is about the integrity of the game. And the final weekend of the season will bring the Colorado Rockies to St. Louis. And if he was in the position of the Rockies, he would want to see a team that's, well, he's chasing. He'd want to see that team put their best foot forward and try to knock somebody off. So that final weekend, you might see that everyday lineup, and a Wainwright, a Carpenter, maybe a Garcia. You don't know yet. We're still a couple of weeks away, but the Cardinals could play spoiler with their best team out there.
And the Cardinals are trying to do that right now with San Diego. They knocked them out of first place. Good start here from Loesch, but you owe it to San Diego when you're playing a club like Colorado to put your best team out there, and you owe it to the integrity of the game to try and win. Eric changes speeds, pulls the string on him, and gets some swing over the top.
And you would think that San Francisco would like to see that as well.
Exactly. Remember, he's got to go home to the Bay Area, so
right.
He doesn't want to hear you blew it.
Here's Jerry Hairston, who just killed the Cardinals in that 3-game series in San Diego about 4 months ago. He had a couple of home runs, and they were crucial home runs.
One game was a 1-0 defeat of Adam Wainwright with his solo home run.
Average at .246, 10 home runs, and he's driven in 50. 1 out, nobody on, the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball, that's a fair ball. Tyler Green to Albert, 2 away. One thing we saw Sunday night, Kyle Loesch, it was sinker after sinker, and it was good to see pitches down in the zone.
A couple starts ago, I asked Dave Duncan, I said, when Kyle first came and really had a breakthrough season, he followed your lead and said, your best pitch is a sinker, make that your dominant pitch. And he had a remarkable year, got rewarded. This year and parts of last season, he got away from that pitch. And I said, why is he not throwing? He said, well, the biggest problem is he can't get the ball down. So when you throw a high sinker, it's hittable. Then he started going to his secondary pitches. They were not real sharp. We found out there was a physical reason. He had that corrected with the forearm surgery. Now you're starting to see him really get himself into good pitching shape. He had to really go through spring training once again. And now he's showing the ability to get the ball down again.
That pitch was up, hammered out to deep left. And that ball is gone on a 2-0 pitch. Miguel Tejada.
And Dan, I was about to say, part of his problems last few seasons against Padres is that he allows a home run, at least one home run. And instead of being a sinking fastball down, look at that ball. Right in the dead middle of the plate, belt high, and it'll be belted. That is $399 or $299 in Tejada's great career, one away from 300.
Just played in his 2000th game. And that pitch is hit down the right field line, and a fair ball hops over the wall, and a ground rule double for Adrian Gonzalez. After a good start of a strikeout and a ground out, Loesch has given up a home run and now the ground rule double.
And that has also been a familiar theme. Kyle Loesch has shown the ability to get the first 2 outs, and then trouble starts.
And once again, a nice round of applause for Ludwig. Ludwig had a base hit last night in game 1. 2 outs and a runner at second. You would have to think, whether it's Ludwig or any player that gets traded to San Diego, position player, it will be tougher to hit home runs playing half your games in that ballpark.
Big ballpark, nighttime. California air kind of is moist, kind of takes the distance out of those drives, and a lot of pitches or a lot of balls that you hit elsewhere would go out of the ballpark. There, dies in front of the warning track.
2 balls and no strikes. Ludwig with 15 home runs this year, and he's driven in 61. Rips it foul. And Ryan Ludwig again reiterating tonight that there is no rift between he and Tony La Russa, and very appreciative of his time in St. Louis, and very appreciative of what John Mozeliak did for his career.
And don't you kind of, I mean, Tony's got to get a little frustrated that this kind of topic keeps on come back and back, and we knew there was no problem between the two of them.
And Ludwig said, just like any player in the major leagues, you're going to disagree with playing time. And he said, you know what, Tony may have at times done me a favor looking at all the matchups that he looks at and protected me.
Yes. I remember playing in Kansas City with Whitey Herzog. One particular outfielder hated Whitey because he wouldn't let him play against people like Nolan Ryan. And Whitey goes, you're 0 for 75 against him with 74 strikeouts. I think you really should, look at it that maybe I'm doing you a favor. And that guy was the happiest guy in the world, but he complained to everybody, saying Whitey won't play me.
And a strike to Ludwig, 3-2.
Part of the job for a manager is those matchups. You're not doing it to penalize a guy. You're trying to put the best option out there for a victory. And there were many times you and I disagreed with Ludwig's lack of playing time, but he was a real pro.
Just missed on the inside corner. Home run, double, and a walk after getting the first 2 in this opening frame. Switch hitter to the third baseman, Chase Headley. Runners at first and second. Headley hitting .265 at the start of play tonight. 10 home runs and 54 RBIs.
He's a switch hitter, but by far a much better hitter from the left side of the plate. More power, much better average.
A lot of breaking balls now after we saw sinkers early on.
See, that's the problem. it maybe, you got a strikeout, you got a ground ball, throw the sinker. Just concentrate and get it down. When you go to your secondary pitches, you're doing the hitters a favor. They're not as good as that sinker if you can get it down.
How important in your mind are these starts for Kyle Loesch, just to go into the offseason with some confidence? And if you don't pitch well, you think about it all offseason and you don't make a start until April.
It is very important for your individual psyche. Now, he has the comfort of knowing he has 2 more years at about $10 million a year. But, he cares. He wants to contribute. He wants to be part of, a pitcher that his teammates can count on. So it is important for him to finish strong and know that he's just going to get even better as he has more time since the surgery.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Got him on the inside corner. 2 strikeouts in the inning. But Miguel Tejada, his 7th home run. It's 1-0. Schumacher leads it off, followed by John Jay, and then Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, Colby Rasmus, Yadier Molina, Tyler Green, Kyle Loesch batting 8th, and then the shortstop Brendan Ryan. And the Cardinals get a tough customer tonight. Young pitcher, 22 years old. Not a lot of people have heard about him, but take a look at the numbers. They are astounding this year. Matt Latos, and Latos, I mentioned earlier, kind of flying under the radar, but he is a guy that you have to take a look at for the Cy Young Award, especially when you start comparing his numbers to some of the others. I doubt he'll win it, but he should be in the conversation.
No, he'll be very close to probably 4th, 5th place, but he has made a name for himself. As you said, 22, the great ERA.
Base hit for Schumacher. Schumacher hovering around that 270 mark. It's Cunningham, Venable, and Ludwig in the outfield. Headley, Tejada, Kirsten, Gonzalez along the infield. And it's Latos and Torrealba, the battery for San Diego. John Jay coming off a 3-hit night.
Latos did make a start last year against the Cardinals, and arguably maybe his worst ever.
Base hit and run was on. Schumacher hustling around second base. First and third, nobody out. Well, you like to see that, don't you?
Absolutely. You know, that's one way that Tony can kind of help this team. Jump-start it a little bit, make them look like they're got some spirit and a little bit of drive. And, of course, with John Jay, his ability to go to the opposite field, he's a hot hitter right now, so it made a lot of sense. Look at Tejada, the shortstop, close to the bag, so a big gap in the infield on the left side. Shoot out there. It almost looked like a pitch out, but he didn't get it far enough away from the strike zone, and John Jay hit down on the ball, drove it out to the vacated shortstop spot.
Pujols 1 for 4 last night. RBI, picked up a double, sitting on 39 home runs.
Second now in RBIs with his 105.
Some people say that Latos has hit a bump in the road, but then you look at the numbers, he's only received 5 runs of support over his last 4 starts.
Well, he had that, 15 straight times he went out there and did not allow more than 2 runs. Is that a major league record?
Pujols, foul. It's a rocket. He was ready for it. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Going a little bit further about Latos, right now sporting the 3rd lowest ERA in the major leagues, 2.43. Leads baseball, opponents only hitting 197. And the only pitcher with an opponent's average under 200.
And Dan, carry it over this way. Left-handed batters, 196. Right-handed batters, 198. Doesn't really matter. He's really tough.
0-2 pitch to Albert Pujols. That's a base hit. This game is tied. Pujols on his way to second base, and Jay held up at third. RBI number 106 for Albert Pujols, and it comes on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, Albert is amazing, but boy, it's fun to watch this. These guys run the bases. Whatever the reason is, they love playing against San Diego here. The Cardinals have defeated the Padres 10 straight times in St. Louis. They knocked the Padres out of first place last night, and they continue this assault on teams, the top 5 teams in the National League. They've played very well against them. 10 games over 500 and under 500 against teams below 500, or all other teams.
Pujols with RBI number 106, and that ties him with Carlos Gonzalez, National League lead. Gonzalez leads the league in hitting at 341. Pujols leads in home runs with 39. Good pitch.
That's his good hard slider, and it's a great pitch for him. You know, he's got the great downward action where he throws down on a downward plane. He's got a slow breaking ball, kind of a get ahead breaking ball, and he throws the harder slider. He's got a good fastball. He can get up to 96.
Now, they told us that Matt Holliday is a doubles hitter that just happens to hit home runs, and that has been true this year. Holliday with 42 doubles, 2 back of Jason Worth for the National League lead. 2 for 2 last night with an RBI.
And it's not just this year. He's 3 times over 40. 2 times he was like 38, 39. Holliday is, you know, you could really make it's an accurate description. When you talk about Pujols and Holliday, both of them are line drive, high average hitters that just happen to hit home runs. But they're really more line drive type hitters.
Count of 2 balls and a strike, 2 runners on at second and third. Catches the corner. Holliday didn't like it. Houston has jumped out to a 1-0 lead, top of the second over Cincinnati. I'm not sure that's a team you want to face, the Astros.
Tom Hallion is our home plate umpire, but it just seems that the last couple weeks, more pitches have been called on both sides of the plate, a lot of times wrong, on Matt Holliday more than most people.
It started in Milwaukee, And remember that at bat that he had with 2 strikes, he had to protect the plate, picked up a key RBI on Labor Day, and then it just seemed like every game after that, and he's not a guy that argues, but would be looking back at the home plate umpire.
Not at all. And then it was pitches on the inside part of the plate that were given to the pitcher, well off the plate. Then we went to the next series. It was away. Frustration finally got thrown out of the game, which I thought he shouldn't have been.
3-2, and that was the game against the Braves.
And at that time, it was 2 outs. He struck out on a pitch that clearly was outside. Right after that series where they were ringing him up inside, he walked completely out of the batter's box, was on the grass, and didn't slam his helmet down, just kind of flung it towards the dugout and was ejected. And they said, well, you threw your helmet. He goes, it's the end of the inning. I'm tossing it. Yeah, I tossed it, slung it towards the dugout because I'm going to the field.
3-2 is hit sharply to second. That'll score a run. Jay will score. Holiday picks up the RBI. 2-1 St. Louis.
It's number 96 for Holiday and breaks the 1-1 tie. Cardinals have the lead here in the first.
Well, Latos isn't fooling many. First 4 hitters, that ball was stung too.
And Dan, we've seen a lot of really good pitchers that have trouble the first inning. Then they have a tendency to regroup. So you might as well, and you better pile on all you can, because Bud Black has confidence that he'll turn it around. And I wouldn't doubt it. They don't have that ERA for, and Rasmus was 3 for 3 against him. Not tonight.
Toyota keys to the game. Al mentioned this earlier, but the Padres at Busch Stadium, 3, they are 3-12 in their 15 games. Since 2006, 3-12 against the Cardinals at this ballpark.
And they've lost 10 straight here, but look at them. They weren't much better when they were playing at the old Busch Stadium.
And then you think about postseason play and what the Cardinals have done since '96. They have faced the Padres 3 different times in the playoffs and beaten them those 3 times. Out in front was Yadier Molina. Yadi's hitting .259, 6 home runs and 57 RBIs.
Not long ago, Latos was pitching in Peoria.
Shoots it foul, quickly 2 strikes.
Which always reminds us that if you live anywhere near one of these minor league ballparks, go out, get to know these kids. Get to know them, and they'll remember you when they get to the big leagues. Remember how you treated them well, and still have friends from minor league days, the ones that are still living.
0-2 pitch. Not many of those families house the minor league players.
Sure, some of that, and a lot of the clubs will have sort of a fan club that provides a lot of their the appliances, bedding, all kinds of things for them to come in when they're only coming in for a couple months. Kids aren't making a lot of money. First get introduced to pro ball. I still remember Bob Taylor. I'm sure he's watching this game. So hello to Bob Taylor and Wanda down in Little Rock, Arkansas. Bob was his family was extremely kind to me and mine.
Breaking ball and kept in front. Good block. A lot of people around town. We were talking about Ted Simmons last night, and they were talking about Simba today.
Good. Rightfully so.
About his playing career and then what may happen. Does he want to get into managing? 2-2. In the air to right. Ludwig going back. He won't get it. 2-1 it goes. Molina with an RBI double. Fell behind 0-2. Fought off a couple of pitches. Worked it to 2-2. Drives in Albert Pujols, and the Cardinals have a 3-1 lead.
like Bud Black has run out there to see what's going on with Letos. And Yachty, a big at bat. We know how good an outfielder Ludwig is, but last night John Jay hit one over his head. Here Yachty gets one over his head. And Bud Black, I think he's asking right now, make sure, tell me if you're okay. He said that last season he had maybe his worst start in the big leagues against the Cardinals, and Cardinal hitters are trying to equal that or do more damage against him.
Matter of fact, there was 7 runs that he gave up, tied for the most that he has ever allowed. 4 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs.
You can defense Yachty to hit the ball in the right field because we see him do it so often. Hands inside the ball, but you get a ball out away from him, he can do a lot of things with that. Most of the time he'll hit a line drive in front of the right fielder. This one he got up over the head and to the wall.
Last night the Giants took possession of first place in the West, first time since May 6th. Pounded the Dodgers 10-2. Jonathan Sanchez had 12 strikeouts. Pitch out for ball 1. And that win marked the 6th consecutive game which the Giants allowed 1 or fewer earned runs. So they'll pitch to the man on deck, Kyle Loesch.
Sure. Tyler Green almost feels like thank you. He's been 0 for 14 since coming up this time from the minor leagues, and first time he's been on base for quite a while.
I bet you agree, though, at some point you got to find out what you have in Tyler Green. Highly touted draft choice, very good athletic-looking player, but still trying to put it all together at this level. And it's starting to get to that time in his career where you got to figure out, where is he?
Well, I'm sure he's going to be out of options. And so, he has to make the ball club or he's going to have to be involved in a trade. So you're absolutely right. Very important playing time for him right now.
And a ball to Loesch. The Giants at one point were 7.5 games behind the Padres.
It's what, July 4th?
One ball, 1 strike.
See, nice, free, easy. So one thing about Letos is it's not so much in and out, but it's up and down, where he can really be tough, just changing the eye level in the strike zone, up and down.
1-1 pitch, a strike. Padres are also a half game out in the wild card race behind the Braves. And that's in part because Atlanta lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals this week.
Milwaukee's playing out on the West Coast in the Bay Area.
And Loesch strikes out, but he's been given a lead. Molina with an RBI, as well as Holiday and Pujols. After an inning of play, it's 3-1 here at Busch Stadium. Text giveaway A, B, C, or D to 432-432. It's 3-1 St. Louis leading San Diego. Top of the second rolls in. I had one of the players tell me the other day, he said, you know, I sit out there in the outfield and I got time on my hands. Now look out into the stands and seeing a father and a son here at the ballpark, he said, just makes me think of my childhood going to ball games. Makes me think about my dad. He said that's one of the best parts of playing here in St. Louis. When you see the grandpas with their sons and then their grandchildren, it's what makes this sport as great as it is.
And I had a gentleman who obviously loved baseball, but he was boycotting this a few years ago, boycotting after the strike. He said, I'll never go to a game. And I said, well, obviously you're a baseball fan. How did you become a baseball fan? He said, well, my dad, you know, some of my best memories with my father is he used to take me to the game. And I said, you got a son? And he goes, yeah. I said, so you're going to deny your son the same wonderful opportunities and memories that you had with your father? You're not going to let your son experience? Hey, these guys are just the current caretakers of the great game.
And a base hit.
How did that get through his leg?
Never know what you might see when you come to the ballpark. And tonight, the Hall of Famer, Whitey Herzog, out in the Busch Bash, signing autographs. And you and I have spoken to Whitey so many times, both on and off camera, about what it would mean to him if he ever got into the Hall of Fame. And there was an edge to him. I don't think there's any doubt about it. You know, he wanted to get in just like anybody would. Yeah. But he figured, hey, maybe my time has come and gone. And it just seems like now when you're around him, it's a relief.
Oh, it is. I mean, at one point, after Whitey had retired for a while, he was contemplating coming back because he felt like maybe I need to win one more time in order to be elected. And, you know, in my mind, and I had an opportunity to play for Whitey in Kansas City. I had met him 10 years earlier when the Cardinals did not field an instruction league team, and he was running the Mets minor league system. And Bing Devine, who gave him his first post-playing job, a scouting job, you know, was running the Cardinals, and he said, called Whitey and said, can you take 3 of our players to instruction league? And he said yes, and I was one of those 3. So Whitey was very instrumental in my development. I played for him a couple of years. I helped him win a Division I year, and I got him fired the next year. But, you know, just a tremendous friend, a great baseball man. We were talking about all the jobs that Simmons had. Whitey's had all those plus a couple more.
Sure.
And I think that he should have been there a long time ago, but he's finally where he belongs, the Hall of Famer.
This is Aaron Cunningham. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, and a runner at first. How would you compare Whitey and Tony?
Wow. You know, Tony is just so intense. You know, Tony's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's 3rd on the all-time win list. If he manages 2 more years, he'll be in 2nd place.
Popped up. Pujols takes it for the out.
Extremely hands-on. Whether first word that comes through is, you know, does he overmanage? You know, that kind of thing. But, you know, I've talked a lot of times about with Tony, but in his heart, every move he makes is because if it gives his team the best chance to win. Now, you could maybe say he overanalyzes, he does this, does that. Whitey did a lot of, you know, Whitey did things in a very simplistic way, but was just as intense. Obviously, Whitey wanted to win as badly, but his persona after a game, Jim Hayes can attest to, is a little different than Tony. You know, I mean, Whitey had a life outside of the game, and sometimes you wonder, does Tony?
1 ball, 1 strike on Latos. How about Joe Torre? Apparently this will be his final season.
For sure, huh?
That's what they're saying. And then Don Mattingly would take over for the Dodgers. Torre is 70. And he says he wants to watch his teenage daughter play some sports.
I'm a little surprised at that, but you know, Joe has been in good situations. He'll go in the Hall of Fame with, what, 4 World Championships with the Yankees. I played for Joe Torre, too.
Good bunt by Latos. Tyler Green. Throw to Schumacher.
And Dan, I played with Joe Torre. I played against him. I played for him. Was broadcasting when he was managing here, and you know, we felt like when he was a teammate that he would be an excellent manager. Well, he was a great player.
What was it like, though, to have a guy that was a teammate and a friend, and then all of a sudden he's the guy that you're playing for? That can't be easy.
Well, it was interesting because when he got traded to the Mets from the Cardinals, you know, he was a player there, and then he became a player manager. Then he became the manager of the ball club, and they criticized him for being too close to the players. Well, heck, he was a teammate, you know, the year before. So now he's, you know, they said, "Oh, you're too close to the players." So when he was fired there and went to Atlanta, I think he distanced himself a little bit too much from the players, you know, listening to that. And then when he got into broadcasting with the Angels, I think he saw how the players had changed. You know, a manager would tell you to do something, you did it. Where as a broadcaster, we're always asking for the cooperation of the players. So you know, sometimes you would explain something a little bit more than you would in years past. So when he got the opportunity to come manage the Cardinals, a lot of people said, "This is crazy. Why?" I said, "No, he will be excellent. He just didn't have any players." You know,
at all.
I mean, virtually, the Anheuser-Busch never put him with a team, and everyone say he's a bad manager. Well, you saw when he had the horses, what a great communicator, what a great manager he was in New York. And I think his greatest contribution to those players in New York was he was a great buffer from Steinbrenner and the media to the players, where the media in New York loved him. He was one of their own, Brooklyn born. And they really, really liked him, but you know, he could distance the players. He could keep them, you know, at bay and keep the media from trying to attack him. And the same thing with George Steinbrenner.
2-2, and a base hit into right field. Here comes John Jay. The wave in the runner. Torrealba cut off by Pujols, cuts the lead to 3-2. Another 2-out base hit RBI. What we were talking about before, trying to put teams away once you get that second out. RBI number 49 for Venable. Less than 2 outs. Opponents hitting .294 with 2 outs. .421. 6 home runs allowed. Pretty telling. Jerry Hairston Jr., the hitter, grounded out to third his first time up. Runner at first, 2 down. Venable, part of the speed of San Diego, 116 steals this year.
All you have to do is keep that man close. You keep him close, give Yachty a chance, and you'll take your chances every time. Big lead. Yachty really shuts down the game. I mean, not only has he thrown out 43% of base stealers this year, and since 05 as the best mark in all of baseball. Most clubs don't even try to steal against him. And we'll watch in this series. No stolen base attempts last night from the team that's got 116 stolen bases, second best in the National League. They just don't get comfortable. And if there is a successful steal, it's usually because they pick the pitcher blind.
What does that tell you, though, when you see that high average with 2 outs outside of the obvious that he couldn't put people away this year with the 2 outs? But is it lack of concentration? Is it something else from your perspective, Al, that we're just not picking up on?
In my mind, it is lack of concentration. You know, that you just all of a sudden relax a little bit, thinking, okay, it's going to be an easy inning. Most of the time, it's 2 outs and nobody on base. The first inning, it might have been a little bit after the Tejada home run. The way our offense has been so sporadic, you kind of feel like you got to throw a shutout. You're up against a top-notch young pitcher, a guy with the second-best ERA in the National League, and you kind of feel like, well, I'm going to lose this game. And you lose concentration there. But you got a lead now. You just have to have that total commitment to finish off your pitches.
0-2 with 2 outs and a runner at first. Three to 2 St. Louis as we play here in the top of the second inning. Pulled foul.
It's just one of those little situations where Yachty, somebody in the infield, really not necessary at this level to go remind you. But you know, you really just kind of have to mentally kick yourself and say, okay, I got 2 outs. Now I really have to bear down and make sure he pitches. Sometimes you do that and you squeeze the ball a little bit more, you tighten it up, you don't have the freedom of your delivery, and the ball doesn't have any movement. He was moving.
Almost got it.
His first move was to second base, and very close play over there. Now Lou Brock would tell you he gets back there safely so you can take a bigger lead.
He was talking about that the other night. Said that first movement of the pitcher, boom, I'm gone. Not running, hit out of play.
Well, you know, Lou had the ability that within his first 2 strides, he was at maximum speed.
Explosion out of that.
Explosion. And then, you know, I can't tell you, you know, this was the days when you slid foot and feet first into second base, and he slid so late. There weren't too many middle infielders stuck around just laying their glove down there. Another little secret from my buddy, the Reverend Lou Brock, was used to sharpen his spikes too.
We didn't get into that the other night. I can tell you that. Did he really?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was just trying to get a little groove, a little better traction, but
2-2. You know, we had some of those highlights the other night, and you can't forget when Hal McRae was coaching with the Cardinals, and you'd look at some of those highlights of Hal in Kansas City, how hard he would go into second base to break up a double play.
That's it. I mean, he and George Brett were, you know, nobody wanted to be standing there at second base because you're going to get roll blocked.
Chance for Molina. Quick tag by Schumacher. They get Venable. Had a pretty good jump, too. But Yachty does it again. On Facebook and Twitter for updates on the Cardinals, Rams, Blues, and more. The Blues opened up their training camp this morning. There's articles up right now at foxsportsmidwest.com on what transpired as the club hit the ice. St. Louis leads San Diego 3-2 as we play here in the bottom of the second. And the first pitch is hit down the right field line and out of play. Yep, that's one of your fans, Al.
You gotta be kidding me. He's walking the streets?
He had your jersey on, I believe.
Poor guy. Lost a bet or something.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brendan was 0 for 4 last night. You wonder how the club looks at Brendan Ryan after this has been an offensive year. That's been a down season for him, but at times flashes of brilliance with his glove. We know he's a very good defender. He's above average. Can they rely on him to put it all together going into next season?
Dan, you've got to weigh every option. You've got to look at every player.
Pass to Hata to base hit.
And as problematic as this season has been, he's had the problem offensively, carried over into the defense. Second half, he's starting to show signs of coming back alive. He's not our biggest problem. And because of his great defense and his ability, I play him every day.
Me too.
And I think that he will eventually, play into a relaxed atmosphere, not be so hard on himself, concentrate on his defense, and whatever he gives you offensively. I think he has a lot more offensive potential. He's closer to what he was last season than he's been this year. So, in my mind, and unless something just falls in your lap, there's other areas and other concerns are much greater in my mind than Brendan Ryan.
And you think about teams that are very good. They're strong up the middle defensively. The teams that are very good with a backstop like the Cardinals are with Molina. Your center fielder's got to be a guy that can go get them. Next Family Sunday this weekend, Cards Padres. All fans purchasing a regular price terrace or pavilion reserved seat receive a free Hunter hot dog and Coke. Get your Sunday tickets at Cardinals.com. I'm sure you would agree with that assessment.
Oh, totally. It's for 100+ years that formula is strong up the middle, and this season that has not been the case for the Cardinals. Molina won the last 2 years Gold Glove. There's no way you ever worry about his defense. He got off to a slow start. Offensively, he's picked it up a little bit, but that's not the issue. But there could be improvement at shortstop. We talked about that. He'll be better. Schumacher regressed a little bit defensively this year, and that coincided with his offensive woes at the beginning of the season. And Kobe can be a much better defender. He has tremendous potential. There's room for improvement offensively and defensively, and I think Kobe has gotten better the last couple months. John Jay has been a great surprise. He's really hit all season from day one. He was the minor league player of the month in April. That was about 3 weeks. And he's been a 300 hitter at the big league level all season long, now playing every day. He looks like he's going to have the ability to hit some doubles. But other than that, he's pretty much a singles hitter. And that's part of the problem. You've got a lot of guys that, if they do hit, they don't have much extra base power.
And that's why when you saw what the Cardinals did in the first, you like to see that, just trying to generate something offensively, hit and run, get something going, get some life to the start of the ballgame. 1-1 pitch. There goes Brendan Ryan and a foul ball.
Lato's a young player, has a little bit of a slow delivery. Of course, that's an aspect that he's been so good that he hadn't had a lot of base runners. So the Cardinals see his times to the plate catcher's time to throw to second is conducive to the running game. But it also just kind of gets you in that flow where you really look like you're being aggressive. You have to take advantage because this is a very good defensive club for San Diego.
2-2. John Jay has his own cheering section behind him in the front row. And with runners on, hitting .347, bases empty, .294. Mentioned to Jim Hayes last night that he had a little flaw in his swing. He's made that correction. He had 3 hits.
I'm sure, and he gave a lot of credit working with Mark McGuire. They detected something. You know, one, you detect it, and then you practice on it to try and get it back to muscle memory, so you're, not just repeating a bad habit.
3-2 pitch. There goes Brendan Ryan. That's ball 4. Here's Pujols. Second walk by Latos. The first was the intentional walk. Runners at first and second. Number 40 would be nice right about now.
What did you say about first pitch home runs?
Let's see if he gets one here. He was trying. I just found that to be really surprising when you think about all the pitching changes that clubs will use late innings against a guy like Pujols just to get the right matchup. And the majority of Pujols' home runs have come on the first pitch in his career of 400 plus.
And he's just such a high average hitter that's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. So it is odd.
0-1 pitch. Ripped into left center. Here comes Brendan Ryan. Jay on his way to third. Pujols makes it 4-2.
The idea he got a little upset when he found out he was second in RBIs.
He's now first.
No longer. But just, just nice, easy, ball up a little bit. And he's such a tremendous high ball hitter that, he can hit the ball down, hit the ball up, in, out, all over the place. And just nice swing, power hitter, but taking advantage of the middle of the diamond, trying to hit it back up the middle like his hitting coach preaches. Aaron Balsey, the pitching coach, this time goes out to talk to Latos.
Here's Matt Holliday. Runners at first and third with 1 out. 4-2 St. Louis.
And the ground ball to the right side that produced an RBI. That was number 96 for him. Another opportunity here, but Padres are looking for the ground ball double play.
Holliday with that RBI out on the first, number 96.
And 1 strikeout tonight for Latos. He has a 4-1, almost a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Doesn't give up a lot of hits. And you see how 15 straight times he's pitched at least 5 innings and given up 2 runs or less until his last outing against San Francisco.
0-1 pitch to Matt Holliday. That's a base hit. Jay will score, and it's 5-2. Holliday, his second RBI. There's been some adjustments now with Matt Latos and where he stands on the mound.
Well, last year you see him from the third base side of the rubber. He's going to try and go outside, but by doing this, he had trouble getting the ball away, in this case, to a right-hand hitter. That's Wainwright. Now he's gone to the first base side, It hasn't translated today, but he's much better at going away to the right-hand hitter. Breaking ball, this hard slider, whatever he's throwing out there, he has better command throwing from the first base side, except for tonight.
1 out and 2 runners on. Colby Rasmus.
You talk about making a dramatic difference. We'll show you the difference from where you are on the rubber.
And a look at his numbers in those 2 years. Much better here in 2010. 14-6 ERA, much better. And he's allowed 15 home runs in his 27 starts.
Just wasn't able to get the ball to the corners, as he left a lot of balls over the middle of the plate. And this year, he's been a pitch maker. You know, when he tries to come in on a batter, he's able to do so, not leaving balls in the middle of the plate.
Tell you what, Al, Pujols is getting a huge secondary lead, and those are the times when you see him. Maybe a pitcher takes for granted he wouldn't run, but even with the lefty up, he could swipe third. Watched him that time. Get out of play.
Well, last season in that game where the Cardinals scored 7 runs, you know, that Kobe was 3 for 3. And you just got to get the look right there with Albert's kind of looking, hey, can I have permission to steal?
So you saw it too.
Yeah. It's the first time we ever knew that Albert asked for permission.
Well,
he just does
Okenda
whatever
was
he
holding
wants.
him up. He'd be there. 2-2 pitch. In the air. Shallow center. And it drops in for a hit.
Albert's mad at himself as he started to break. Then he realized, well, wait a minute, maybe that ball could be caught in this easy double play. So he started to go back. And then when it fell in front of the center fielder, he's mad because he didn't score. You know how obsessed he is to score. Little hanging breaking ball. Watch Albert. He takes off, and then he goes, wait a minute, I better get back. And then he could only go 90 feet.
One of the things that you question on that play is just how deep was their center fielder, Venable. The ball was hit pretty high, and we noted last night in Game 1 how deep this Padres team plays in the outfield. That very well could have been a catchable ball.
And it just seems like it's a trend of today's players that everybody plays deep. It's very difficult to make a mistake when you play deep. But the byproduct of it is a lot of balls will fall in front of you that if you're playing a few steps in are caught. And there's a lot of base hits in front of the outfielders because they're so deep. Very few times does a ball get over your head and stay in the park.
Ludwig was shallow first time up. And Molina in that first at bat hit it over the head of Ryan Ludwig. Picked up an RBI double with 2 outs. Big gap in the left center with the bases loaded.
We know how aggressive and how good of an outfielder Ludwig has been. And we thought prior to this year he was well on his way to potentially a Gold Glove. And playing with Molina, I don't fault him for playing where he did. You know, we've seen a lot of base hits that Molina's hit, you know, right over first base, second baseman's head, in, you know, one hop to the outfielder. Not too many have been hit over the right fielder's head. He just got burnt in the first inning.
Strike 2 on Yadier Molina.
Think there's any way Cardinals can change the remaining schedule and play only contending teams?
Up the middle, base hit. Pujols scores. Here comes Holiday. Rasmus to third. 7-2 St. Louis.
3 RBIs for Yachty tonight. That gives him 60 on the year. And the Cardinals already 9 base hits. And it looks like this is the last pitch. Down and away, right back up the middle, hits it hard enough to get through. And the big boys score. Pujols and Holiday. Rasmus to third on the single 2 RBI. Correa is coming in.
Latos knocked out 7-2 here in the second. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Jack in the Box right now, go to Jack in the Box to try Jack's new pastrami grilled sandwich at participating restaurants. We did not see this coming. Latos knocked out of the game. Correa takes over, and it's our Chevy call to the pen. So Latos lasts a grand total of an inning and a third. That is shocking with the kind of run that he's had this year.
No doubt about it. Cardinals, 9 hits, 7 runs. 2 more runs are responsibility of Latos, so it could be 9. Correa had 33 starts last year. He's been up and down.
Tyler Green, first pitch, down the third baseline, picks up the RBI. Molina to third. Green with an RBI double. And the hits just keep on coming. That's 10 here in the first 2 innings.
Tyler Green needed that. First pitch he sees. Looked like he really wanted to go away. Kind of leaves it right in the middle of the plate. Is down a little bit. 86. And just pulls it right inside the bag. Another run. I was going to say, Correa, has been up and down, not through the minor leagues, but whether it's in the rotation or the bullpen this year. So a pretty good long man. Dan, I got to tell you, when you got a guy that of Latos' ability, he's been such a good pitcher, outstanding. Those guys, the bullpen, especially a long guy, the last thing he thinks is he's going to be pitching. And all of a sudden he finds himself in a game in the second inning. They're not ready. Mentally, they really haven't. One, you've got to think you're going to hit the off day. You shouldn't think that way, but it's only natural. He goes deep into games. 2, then you think, well, if I'm going to get in, maybe I'll get in, around the 5th or 6th inning, but not in the second.
0-2 pitch to Loesch. Strikes out for the second time. Cardinals will bat around here in the second inning. And it all got started with Brendan Ryan. He singled and scored. Brendan Ryan could make it 10-2 with a base hit. Loses the bat. And a foul ball behind home plate.
Watch this Cardinal club, and so mysterious, so frustrating at times, because you'll see them compete and really, look like gangbusters against these upper echelon teams. And then other times you go, where's the offense? Just so inconsistent. And I think a lot of us want to believe that this is more characteristic of how this team can play.
Ground ball left side. Tejada has to be quick to first. And he got it by step. Big inning for the Cardinals. They knock out Latos. 6 hits, 5 runs, 8-2. Ten hits for the Cardinals. It's added up to an 8-2 lead. It's still early, top of the third. Loesch back to work. Hairston was left standing at the plate after Venable was caught stealing. That's 2 balls and no strikes. Cardinals have given Loesch a big lead. You'd love to see him shut down the Padres from here on out. Jim Hayes, as he does in the third inning, joins us here on Fox Sports Midwest. Let's jump right into it. Back end of games, Ryan Franklin has not been available. And where does it stand right now, Jim, as far as Franklin and his availability tonight?
He is available tonight. I'm not sure they're going to go with him, but he is available. He had gone home to Oklahoma on some personal issues he had to straighten out. He said everything's fine, not to worry. But on a side note, he said something interesting before the game, that earlier at spring training a couple of times he had referenced the fact that this would be his last season, that he would retire at the end of the season. He's reconsidered that. He'll revisit that with his family after the season, and they'll have a group decision. He said he and McClellan went to Bruce Suter's house and they had a visit. And Suter was kind of one of the guys instrumental in convincing Franklin, if you can still pitch.
Here's a ground ball hit to short. Brendan Ryan up with it and makes the play.
He said Cal Eldred also played a part in that.
If you have any inkling that you can still pitch, and obviously he's still been a very elite pitcher. He is the oldest player on the Cardinals, 37 years of age, but by today's standards, that's not that old. You owe it to your family, you owe it to yourself, because last thing you want is to go home and then all of a sudden regret that I could have kept on playing.
Pujols will take it himself. Now, to flip that on you, Al, some guys might say, I've made a ton of money in this game, and in doing so, I've missed out on 10 years of my kid's life, where family life, I've just not been all that involved. I've been working out hard in the off season. I'm in season, maybe away from my home where I live. Should be year round.
And he covered that by saying it'd be a family decision.
Sure. And I can understand why some players say, you know what, enough's enough, too.
Sure. No, I mean, but it's, and I'm sure there's a lot of those guys that did that, and a certain percentage of them regret it.
I think a high percentage do.
You talk to some guys who called it quits early, and some of them regret that they didn't continue to play because they, at the time, thought they were ready, and they weren't ready. Yeah. So guys like Suter and Cal are just saying, make sure this is what you want to do. Talk it over with your family.
2-0 pitch. The other thing that comes into play, and this is true not just with baseball, but any sport. I mean, this is what these guys have been doing since they were little kids. And then all of a sudden, it's not part of your life anymore as being a player and trying to adjust to life after the sport. Al, that's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely, especially today when, forget about the money and everything, but just the, the ego, the adrenaline of just being recognized, the lifestyle you live, it all changes.
Good pitch, and Gonzalez grounds out to short. He is just basically walking down to first. And the Padres go 1-2-3. We'll get an update on Tony La Russa and his future in St. Louis when we come back. Standing Budweiser, it's what we do. John Jay, Albert Pujols, and Matt Holliday. Cardinals have out-hit the Padres 10-4. They lead 8-2. Skip Schumacher will lead it off. You were talking about, at least in between innings, you said, well, you're going to put me on the spot? Yes, I am. So you wanted to talk about Tony La Russa and his potential, his
Actually,
future.
I wanted to
in
talk
St. Louis.
about suddenly the Robofsky family having the mad Hungarian running around 24/7.
Now he changes it.
No, let's talk about Tony. Is he coming back? I think that's the question on most Cardinal fans' mind. And the answer is, Dan, we don't know. However, I did go into Tony's office before the game.
Al, I could have done that.
I could have done that, too.
Yeah, I gave this big tease going into the inning.
But there's a story that goes along with it.
All right.
We'll debate about that.
I walked into Tony's office this afternoon. I said, Tony, we were discussing it in the office at Fox Sports Midwest. We have collectively decided that you are coming back, and I would like to offer you the opportunity to come on the pregame show live and make that announcement. He declined. We talked to John Mozeliak, the general manager on 590 The Fan, a radio station in St. Louis today, and he said he legitimately doesn't know what Tony's decision is going to be, but he, upon further questioning, said he believes that Colby Rasmus won't be traded. He said that before, and he stood by that.
Anything else you want to promote that was on your show?
No, that'll do it.
That's on from when?
7 to 10.
Okay.
590 The Fan.
3-2.
Grand Slam Sports, right?
Go ahead, Jim. And a walk to Schumacher.
Got a little David Freese news that's not radio related. And not sponsored by anyone.
All right.
You going to tell us that?
David Freese.
This one's a freebie. This is nothing else. Freese has been around the clubhouse, but in a stealth way. He's been working out. He's trying to come back from the ankle injuries. He had surgery on his right ankle in August, and the left ankle earlier this month, and he's rehabbing, and he says it's going fine. He believes he'll be healthy well before spring training, although he says medically there's no timetable as to when he'll be ready, but he feels good.
John Mozeliak, though, if that's somebody you can count on going into the months of March and spring training. Tejada over, and foul territory makes the catch.
Dan, I did ask John Mozeliak that this morning on 590 The Fan, and he says it would be prudent for the Cardinals to wait because they have time to see how the injury is healing with Freese. But he said obviously it'd be prudent for them to also explore other options if the reports aren't good. They believe that he'll make a full recovery, but they have to also keep their options open.
Obviously extremely hopeful of that because, one, he looks like extremely talented run producer offensively, better than average defensively, and more importantly, when you're trying to re-sign Albert Pujols long-term, low cost.
Absolutely, and they love the way he goes about his business. You know, for a guy who was kind of put into the mix, he looked like he had been there for a few years.
Freese was part of the equation in dealing Ryan Ludwig. At the time when they dealt Ludwig, Freese was still around and playing.
I think they
thought he was going to come back.
They didn't read the tea leaves correctly on that one. I don't know who could have, but I agree. If Freese is healthy and back here, it's a different picture painted for the
Remember,
Cardinals.
he was rehabbing and then had the injury.
Yeah, he just really went out that week, but they were anticipating that by the time of the next weekend, he would be able to recover from the initial ankle injury, and it was in his first game on the rehab assignment. He was only going to be down there for 3 or 4 games, five games, and be right back up here and thrown into the mix. But reconstructive ankle surgery. Both ankles have been operated on 3 times the last 2 years. You got to be concerned about that.
2 balls and a strike on Pujols. Albert tonight, RBI double, RBI single, 2 runs scored, and with those RBIs, he's now in the National League lead at 107.
It would be inconceivable to us. He's batting 309 for him to fall out of 300s. He's been a 300 hitter every single year of his career, and lifetime big league average over 330.
Have to wonder how much pain he's been playing with that elbow and back, hamstrings, knees. Pops it up. Gonzalez makes the catch in foul territory. And there's 2 outs. So Pujols, if you're just joining us, part of the hit parade so far. First time up. That was the RBI double. Brought in John Jay. Or rather Schumacher, and then Jay would eventually score, and then Pujols a base hit and an RBI to bring in Brendan Ryan. So 2 outs and a runner at first.
And this is really a game where it shows you if you can get the guys on in front of Pujols and Holiday, they'll do their thing. And then maybe even more importantly, the way this Cardinal offense is, when Albert and Holiday deliver, then the other parts of the orders after them relax and they contribute. But when Albert and Holiday, aren't to the center stage, or not having a real plus night, the rest of the guys panic, try to do things they're not capable of doing, and then you have that very, very low-scoring offensive team. It all revolves around these guys, and they're the money guys, and they're really coming through once again. You have to have guys on in front of them, and you have to have protection behind them.
Holiday now at 97 driven in. And if you look at Matt Holiday, historically, this is about where he is. 30 home runs, a windup, 100-plus RBIs. He's at 26 home runs. It'll be close to 30.
40 doubles. He's gonna hit his 100 RBIs. He leads the ball club in 2 out RBIs.
2 balls and a strike, and you would think after 1 year under his belt with this type of contract and playing with very high expectations going into next season, you wouldn't expect the slow start like we saw this year. Now, he is a historically slow starter, but
your point is he's going to be, really
comfortable.
Second year of the big contract, he's not going to put that much pressure on himself.
Exactly.
And it's self-inflicted most of the time. They get a contract based on what they've done. Look at these last 5 years. That's why he got the contract. So, the ball club's just saying, we're betting that you will be in those same career numbers. And then you try to do too much.
In the air to right. Ludwig makes the catch. Cardinals spraying the runner. And they lead it 8-2. Ball 1 to Ryan Ludwig. It's 8-2. Top of the 4th rolls in. Cardinals with 3 runs in the first and 5 in the second. They knocked out Matt Latos, who last an inning in the third, gives up 9 hits, walked a couple. Right down the middle, 2-1. Ludwig is first time up, walked after receiving another nice ovation.
Dan, Luddy really was hitting well with runners in scoring position this season. He's carried that over with San Diego.
Past Tyler Green in a base hit.
As Luddy, he's leading off this inning, but he is third in the majors with a 381 average with runners in scoring position.
This date in baseball history, no one will ever forget this stirring reading of his own original poem titled "We Shall Overcome." Jack Buck signals the return of baseball following September 11th, September 17th of 2001. Here's Headley. He struck out in the first and pulls one foul. Now, Ludwig was asked about the team now, the Padres, being in second place after this long run of being in first place. And one of the things he said, there are veterans on this team that have been there before, whether it be myself that's been into postseason play now, David Eckstein, Miguel Tejada. But guys are relaxed. No panic.
It doesn't matter where you are now. It's what you are at the last day of the season. And obviously a half game back, you're in striking distance.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. 55th wedding anniversary tonight. Happy anniversary to Marilyn and Harry Dillon. Cardinal Ushers working tonight on their 55th wedding anniversary.
And I am bad because I forgot to do a wedding anniversary for last night. Ron and Jackie Hunt. Ron Hunt's bride of 49 years. Forgot that, but she told me she couldn't put up with him any longer, so I took her seriously. But congratulations to the Hunts.
Swing and a miss. She's a saint. Traveling this season, take the Cardinals with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv. Final couple of weeks, all you have to do is head to MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Catch up on all the pennant races.
You got a chance to play for Ron Hunt, right?
I sure did.
So you know all about his
strict rules
that you did not adhere to. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yorvi Torrealba with runner at first.
Torrealba 1 for 1 tonight. 0 for 2. Maybe. Not a play.
Nothing in 2 on Torrealba. Singleton scored back in the second inning.
Torrealba and some of the catchers, Pudge Rodriguez, a couple years ago they decided they wanted to get in better shape, so they kind of lost a lot of weight, a little more mobile, trying to think of their longevity of their careers. Maybe just take a little of that excess weight off.
Nothing in 2 the count with 1 out, and Ludwig the runner at first. How about a double play? There's a fly ball out to deep left. Holiday back. Makes the catch on the track. The hitter will be the 8th place hitter in this lineup, Cunningham.
Maybe a couple years ago with that extra weight, he might have hit that one out. But here's the line drive that Holiday goes back on the ball. Let's see the location. Kind of down and in, drops that bat head, lines it out there for the second out.
Cunningham popped out to Pujols. 2 outs and a runner at first. There's another fly ball, left center. That could be trouble. Holiday is back. He'll look up and it's off the wall. Bare hands it, plays it perfectly. Relay to the plate. And safe.
2 outs, another threat and rally.
And again, it comes with 2 outs.
Eighth place hitter, too. We've seen recently the bottom of the order is really giving trouble. This will be Baxter. pinch hit. And here, the legitimate shot right there, and no further advancement from the hitter Cunningham. So go ahead and try it.
2 outs, runner at second. 8-3 now.
Mike Baxter is the pinch hitter. Little infielder, outfielder. We called on September 6th.
Closes the book on Correa.
He made his major league debut pinch hitting on September 6th at AAA Portland. He hit 300, 30 doubles, 10 triples, 18 home runs. So speed and power, 72 RBIs.
Good changeup. .75 pitches already for Loesch, trying to get through the 4th inning here. Runs tonight by the Padres have been scored with 2 outs.
A little disappointing that, Kyle Blanks got hurt this year. And a little bit we saw him last year. You kind of wanted to see that big guy and see what he could do.
At the end of last year, they thought they had something on their hands with a power hitter, even for that ballpark.
6'6", 270, just a big man. Only hit 250 last year, but 148 at bats, had 10 home runs.
2-2 to Baxter. We'll do it again.
Three-two pitch, no walks, make them hit their way on.
Three-two, right down the middle, got him. Strikeout of Baxter and 4 on the night for Kyle Loesch. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Gillette, returns this week at 3, only on Fox. Colby Rasmus leads it off, and a lefty now for the Padres. Al is into the ballgame.
LeBlanc take over here.
Made a start against the Cardinals, and it's our Chevy called to the bullpen.
Wade LeBlanc, 26 years of age now. 6'3", 202 from Baton Rouge. Signed the second round of the 06 first-year player draft.
And a lefty-lefty matchup here. Colby has been much better here in the second half against those lefties.
LeBlanc first came to the big leagues with San Diego back in 08. Last year he made 9 starts for the Padres.
Three and one the count.
See how all these clubs are really trying to pound Colby in the outside part of the plate, breaking balls away.
And it's a leadoff walk. Brings in Molina. Good night for Molina so far. 3 RBIs, double and a single. And time is called.
Happy birthday to Caden Robinson from Lynn, Missouri. Caden celebrating his 8th birthday today. Hope you had a great day in school on your birthday. Not fair, is it?
Out to visit. Catch all the action of the 2010 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 6th with the Division Series on TBS.
This is LeBlanc's first relief appearance of the year.
That's ripped into left center field. Colby on his way to third as the ball goes to the wall. He will score. How about the night for Yadier Molina? Cardinals get one back. It's 9-3.
4 RBIs for Yadier with a 3-for-3 night. RBIs in each plate appearance. Set up away, ball down, and he just drives it out into left center. Ball got by Cunningham out there. He hadn't played a little bit to right field, so a big gap out in left center. And Colby, with that great speed, he just glides around the bases, comes in to score easily.
When you see him run like that, it is fluid, it's effortless, and I just wonder why we don't see him steal more. And you talked about the explosion that Lou Brock would get, and I'm assuming that's part of the problem maybe with Colby Rasmus. It's also a learning process for him. But you'd love to see it. Out to deep center. And the catch is made. Molina will tag up from second to third. But I'm sure you understand what I mean. A guy that runs like that, put him in motion a little bit more.
Well, you know, when you were talking to Lou the other night, and I can't hear because I'm in the back and you're talking about plugging the golf tournament, but I'm sure Lou talked about the attitude that you have to have as a base stealer. I mean, you almost have to be defiant. And Colby's personality is a little bit laid back, so that's something he's going to have to grow into, to kind of, you know, get that fiery spirit to where you really want to push to that second and third gear. And, you know, it's an art form. Just because you've got speed doesn't mean you're going to be a good base stealer. It means you have one of the key ingredients to be a good base stealer. But you've got to will it. You've got to want it. You've got to have that arrogance and that attitude that you're better than any pitcher-catcher combination.
Loesch, a tough night at the plate, over 2, pair of strikeouts.
Pujols is not blessed with great speed, but he's a good base runner, and he can steal bases. He's got 12 this year, more than Gobi, because he just is obsessed with trying to be better in all facets of the game.
Cardinals this season against top 5 National League teams by record. How about that? Top 5 in their 10 games above 500. All others 39 and 47.
But look at how well they pitch against the upper echelon team and how they score. And then you get the weak teams that you're supposed to dominate against them. They play down to their ability.
Brendan Ryan, 2 outs and a runner at third. Ryan 1 for 2, grounded out to short. Also an RBI, or rather a run-scoring single scored back in the second inning.
And the Cardinals, how do you win the division if you can't play 500 inside it?
That's been a real problem.
Remember,
this
they're
year.
12-6 against the Cincinnati Reds.
Fly ball out to deep left, and flying out Brendan Ryan. So we played 4. RBI from Molina. He's got 4 on the night. It's 9-3. And the Padres. Jack Clark, 51 with San Diego, 66 with St. Louis. Jack never shy on opinions. And Jack Clark is the answer to our question. And there's a strike at the knees underway here in the 5th. Pedro Feliz takes over at third base with a 6-run lead midway through this game.
At least this time Tyler Green got a big base hit.
Pujols ranging well to his right and maybe ill-advised. Safe at first is Venable. That might be one where you say that's a little too far.
Well, there's many times we've thought that, but that's what we talk about. He just wants to be so much part of the action. You're never going to accuse him of not trying to do his job. He just floated it up there, and Kyle Loesch really could not look down at the bag and try and catch that high pitch, and it, like you say, it took the ball right out of Schumacher. Would have been a real easy play for Schumacher, but that's Albert. And one of the few times it was the wrong decision. Scored a base hit. Okay.
Line drive into center. Catch made by Colby Rasmus. October 1st, Cardinals take on the Rockies, and you can support an amazing cause during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a breast cancer awareness tote bag, courtesy of Fuse and Schnucks. For more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions. October 2nd will be a special day here at the ballpark as well. You probably have heard about the Stand for Stan campaign, and they'll be handing out those mini Stan the Man flat pictures, and midway in the game they're going to have the fans all stand up, take a picture, trying to get Stan the Medal of Freedom. They've had over 20,000 folks sign up, and you can just go to cardinals.com to sign up for that campaign. Stand for Stan. 2 balls and no strikes on Miguel Tejada.
You have to have a pretty significant photo album now, as people have taken those little flat pictures of Stan, taking them all around the world, and send back photos for the Cardinals to put to their campaign to get him that medal.
Tejada in the left center field. Colby Rasmus under it. 2 outs.
It seems like what Stan has done would be enough.
It's for his service on the field and what he's done for our country. Here's Gonzalez, who is doubled and also grounded out to short. That pitch is taken outside with 2 outs and a runner at first. Another great year for Gonzalez with 29 home runs, 95 RBIs. And here we are again with a runner on and 2 outs. Let's see if Loesch can't get out of it. Backhanded by Schumacher. Force play at second. And Ryan stays on the bag. Midway through 5. Cardinals 9, San Diego 3. Green. Visit Lowe's for a chance to win a BIP World Series experience. Compliments of Scott's. Bottom of 5 rolls in. Strike 1 on Skip Schumacher. Schumacher with a single and a run scored. He's flied out to left field and also walked. Average at 271. Second inning of work for LeBlanc. Gonzalez, very sure-handed over at first base. He's an all-around good player. What's on tap will be Sunday's game we're going to talk about. Of course, the national game tomorrow on Fox. And then Garland and Wainwright Sunday at 12:30 on KSDK. Jay Randolph and Rick Horton will have the call. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap.
Looks like Mitchell Boggs is warming up. The Cardinals.
The Cardinals out with Loesch have had a pretty quick leash. They want to make sure that goes out on a high note. So back-to-back starts where he doesn't go deep into a game, but the offense has come through 9-3 tonight. Fly ball out to left, and the catch made by Cunningham. Also an early birthday wish to our buddy Jay Randolph. He'll have his birthday on Sunday. He'll be working.
76.
Here's Pujols. Albert with a double, single, 2 RBIs, and he's also popped out.
Philadelphia and Atlanta both win tonight. Phillies maintains a 3-game lead in the East. Cincinnati and the Astros who tied 3-3.
Got in just enough, and Venable makes the catch. We played 5 innings here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals lead it 9-3, and Mitchell Boggs is coming in. The Cardinals' top memorable moment that you'd like to see replayed here on Fox Sports Midwest. Fueled by Gatorade. 9-3 St. Louis, top of the 6th.
Mitchell Boggs comes in this ball game, as well as Aaron Miles. He'll be playing second base, and Schumacher moves from second to right. Feliz came in last inning, so Cardinals putting a little tighter defense out there, particularly in the infield. But you know, Skip's he's made 4 starts in the outfield, and he has 4 outfield assists. Now, they haven't all been in starts. It's been games like this where he picked up assists when he's moved to the outfield.
This is Ryan Ludwig. Well, I've had the pleasure to host a group of folks that bid on a auction item that we were able to put up, have them come up in the booth, go down in the field for the Dan Mueller Memorial Fund, which was founded 3 years ago. It's a base hit for Ludwig. Dan left us too soon. He was only 25, and Ludwig on base for the 3rd time tonight, but his family's put together a really neat outing and a charitable cause that goes to Angels Arms, and you and I are affiliated with that organization. And I want to say to his family, we miss Dan and wish he was here tonight with us, but great cause, no doubt.
He's here in spirit.
That's right.
Yeah, we can't thank.
There's a ground ball. Pujols aggressive, gets one, back to first, no double play. Well, that's a good play by Albert.
That's more indicative of the defender that Albert is. And once again, you mentioned that key word, aggressive.
He was aggressive going in, and Pujols thinking double play all the way. If he lets that bounce, not sure, but it might have gone foul. So he was trying to say, you know what?
Take the out, and the big thing is you got the lead runner, so you still have a double play in order.
But to the Muellers, we're thinking about you tonight.
And you and I get involved with so many people, and I really respect all the work you do in the community, and boy, how generous Cardinal fans are with helping out all the causes.
Foul ball.
Fortunately, there's just way too many.
Isn't that the truth? One ball, one strike, one out, and a runner at first. This is Yorvi Torrealba.
I just think how lucky we are with the great children's hospitals we have here, and all the research hospitals. And if you have a problem, we have the facilities and the doctors to take care of it.
1-2.
And I know you and I both wish Aaron Maurer, hope she has a speedy recovery.
In the dirt. But Boggs and where he may fit into the plans next year. Getting a full season under his belt. Made the club out of spring. It's been used a lot. Then Mott got hurt, and his role even increased with greater importance as the season went on. And some folks in the organization think that eventually you're talking about a setup man or a closer as he gets even more experience in a couple of years.
I think that's the key, and in my mind, he is that setup man right now. He has the ability to be a potential closer. Just give him another year in this role, and I really believe too that he's more advanced than Mott because he has more breaking balls. Got that power fastball, working on both sides of plate. His breaking ball is a little more consistent than a Mott. He's got that presence out there, and you can throw 96, 98. You got the chance.
Cunningham retired. Scoreless frame for Mitchell Boggs. 9-3 midway through 6. West is brought to you by Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. We'll be in Florida on Monday. Just a one-game set series, whatever you want to call it, against the Marlins on Monday. It's a makeup game. Then we'll head to Pittsburgh for the first of 3 Tuesday night and have a weekend series beginning a week from today at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Holiday into left center. It's at the wall. It's gone. He went down to get it and hits a solo home run. How about the strength of Matt Holliday to go down and get that pitch, yank it into left center, one of the deepest parts of the park, and he hits a home run.
Dan, number 27, his third RBI of the night. He's up to 98, and he's had quite a little roll. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. He is 16 for 32, 500 average. Look at him go out there, and that's what you're talking about. Off-balance swing, basically a one-arm swing, and yet he hits it out of the ballpark. That is an indication of his strength.
Base hit for Rasmus. It's a fair ball. Down into the corner. Colby to second. Colby on his way to third. Relay to third. Save. In there with a triple.
They're going to hit a backward cycle here in this inning.
There you go.
Not a natural, a backwards one, but home run, now a triple down the corner. Look at it. I mean, he's not even running. He kind of makes a decision, not sure. Now he says, okay, I'm going to go for 3. Good slide to the outfield side as he throws inside. Slide to the back half, and then hold on to the bag.
It's a fun thing to watch. Guys that just can glide like that. Great speed by Colby Rasmus. Infield is in, and here's Yadier Molina. Pedro Feliz is on deck.
Yadi saved quite the night. Already 4 RBIs on the night, and he's 3 for 3. Great opportunity to pick up his 5th RBI.
Fights it off, a little bloop. That will get down. It's an RBI and a base hit for Molina. What a night he's had. 5 RBIs. 6 a serious number. Cardinals have scored 6, so get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $0.25 tomorrow at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks at On the Run.
Feliz will get his first plate appearance. Playing the infield in. I do not believe they could have caught Molina's little
taking a very good
sport out there, but but still, you couldn't have placed that any more effectively.
Pedro Feliz with a high fly ball into center. Cincinnati tied with Houston 3-3. That's in the bottom of the 7th.
Miles will get his first plate appearance.
First time that Molina has ever had a 5 RBI night. Miles' first plate appearance, pops it up. And it's up to Brendan Ryan with 2 outs and a runner at first. 11-3 St. Louis. we will award the Hundo Award later tonight.
And we came in teasing some of the candidates like Molina, Holiday, Westbrook. Sorry, Jake. I think the other two performances kind of wiped you out.
Here's a ground ball to second and a force play. And a huge night for Yadier Molina and the Cardinals. 14 hits for St. Louis and an 11-3 lead. Bobbleheads. No surprise there at 52%. Text giveaway, and we appreciate all those texts that came in. Cardinals with a lead of 11-3. Second inning of work. Top of the seventh for Mitchell Boggs. Tony Gwynn Jr. will be the pinch hitter. .212 average, 3 home runs, and 20 RBIs. 11-3 St. Louis. That's strike one. Gwynn pinch hitting in the 9th spot. They've already used Baxter. We'll see Venable, who's on deck, and then Hairston. Strike two. LeBlanc goes 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Oh, 2 pitch. And he struck him out. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Kids Club members, due to the game time change tomorrow, so parents, pay attention to this. Gates will open for the Kids Club Fiesta at 9:30. You can still sign up tonight. Take advantage of this great autograph party at Busch Stadium. Visit cardinals.com/kidsclub. Big Dog will be there tomorrow. 9:30.
Yachty was the host this year.
Keith O'Brien, apparently from our staff, will be covering that event tomorrow. And also taking part in the Fiesta. He'll report on Monday in Florida. He'll be part of the pregame show with Jim Hayes.
Is Keith participating? Is he a charter member of the Kids Club?
Many years Keith has been going to that. He'll be celebrating with Yachty tomorrow. Base hit.
It's like trying to pitch him outside, and the ball just down a little bit away, but he pulls it through right side. And 3 hits tonight.
Well, Keith was telling me, and Keith is a grown man, but last year he went to the Cardinals Crew Kids Club that was led by Skip Schumacher. He said of all the years he's been there, Al, that last year's was the best, but he thinks the Fiesta beginning at 9:30 tomorrow can give Skips a run for his money.
Well, we know he knows how to party. That's where he first learned about foam fingers, and where he started that the world's largest collection of foam fingers.
Double play ball, 4-6-3. Time to stretch. 11-3 St. Louis. Hyundai Lawn Drive inning, Rosemary Smith, merchandise winner. The Hyundai Lawn Drive inning sweepstakes. Cardinals hit a home run. Rosemary Smith qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing on September 30th. To see the all-new Hyundai Sonata, log on to mystlouisHyundaiDealers.com. Top of the lineup for St. Louis. Good outing by Mitchell Boggs so far with a couple of scoreless innings. It looks very good. New pitcher in for the Padres. Astros with a 5-3 lead, a 2-run 7th inning.
You know, we've talked about how Colorado was such a hot team until the Padres cooled them off a little bit, but you could say the same thing about the Astros in the Central Division. They're trying to catch the Cardinals. And the Boggs' beard matches the top of the head now.
That shaved head really didn't work, did it?
No, it really didn't. As the Cardinals as a team got together in Houston, tried a solidarity where they all shaved their heads. That was going to be their rallying cry. Tony believes in Sampson. No shaved heads for the staff.
Fly ball into shallow left. One away. After the game, Missouri Lottery. Cardinals live broadcasting from the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place Casino. Watch player interviews and Tony La Russa plus Pat Paris and Rick Horton break down the game. Missouri Lottery, Cardinals live after the game on Fox Sports Midwest.
Randy Wynn. Pinch hitting here. Randy did most of his damage as a Cardinal when he started.
And that's hit out of play. One is hit to second. 2 outs. Story tonight undoubtedly has been the start of Matt Latos and his ineffectiveness tonight. Now he only goes an inning and a third, 9 hits, walks 2. And they've got Chris Young going tomorrow. Been dealing with a sore shoulder. And remember what Albert Pujols did to Young a couple of years ago with a line drive back to him.
I saw a video of that earlier tonight, and still not a pleasant shot if you're a pitcher. It's one of your worst fears. Just fractured his nose. And there's a lot more. Some of the facial bones were affected also. You know, you learn, Dan, to pitch inside, because that ball was a little breaking ball down the way and reached out and smoked the line drive right back up and hit him in the face.
Like that. A pitch that was about in that spot, except up just a little bit.
For somebody else, it would have been line drive to center field, but off of Young, it hits him in the face. Such a tall character, but down away. This time, Albert came over the top and hits the ground ball, where the other one got underneath it a little bit and hit the line drive.
Congo candidates: Molina 4 for 4, career high 5 RBIs. Holiday with a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 for 4.
Remember, they were candidates coming in. As Holiday now has extended his hitting streak to 9 games. He's hitting 500 during that time. Molina, it's just 2 games, but a career high 5 RBIs tonight. 7th time he's had 4 hits. Look how far away they are. Oh.
Gets underneath this and hits it a mile high. Shortstop wants it, has it. It sends us to the 8th. All Cardinals tonight with an 8-run lead. In the third, 9 hits, 8 earned runs, and Loesch goes 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. But the big story tonight, Yadier Molina, career high with 5 RBIs, and that's a look at your Verizon Wireless game summary. Fernando Salas takes over, and Matt Pagnazzi takes over behind the plate.
And you were saying the big story tonight, I thought, according to the truck, it would be Pagnazzi, but Randy Wynn will stay in this ball game. He's patrolling out and left. Sal's been a yo-yo up and down this season. He was a closer at AAA. Here at the big league level, pitched very well. This is 6 times Salas has been up and down this year.
6 times. You talk to a guy like Skip Schumacher, who's been up and down earlier in his career, what that was like for him. The mind games that it plays on a young player, too.
You just have to understand sometimes it's a numbers game. There were times where he pitched very effectively, and because they needed a fresh reliever, he would be sent down, but left a good impression. Each time you come back up, though, you feel a little bit more like you belong.
Get out of play.
And Dan, because the uncertainty next year, what'll be the role of Kyle McClellan? It's just important to be able to replace a guy like Kyle with another good arm out in the bullpen, and now maybe you can put him in that rotation if you're looking for that 5th spot.
Outside.
And Kyle's earned that by pitching 3 years effectively out of the bullpen, and he has 4 good major league quality pitches. So big, strong guy. He's capable of going into that rotation and replaced by another good arm in the minor league.
Well, the end of the Cardinals dugout. Joe Patini held his hat out because Tony many times will try to catch those foul balls with a hat, but not a flying bat.
Not a lot of complications in his delivery. Basically, a sinker slider type pitcher. Has pretty good control. It's one of the things that they noticed in spring training. That you could count on him to throw strikes. Wasn't afraid. And that's been an asset that reason why they feel like he's a reliable reliever.
Carpenter and Volstad at 1:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. 1 ball, 1 strike. McClellan, if he moves into the starting rotation, by not being in there this year, might have saved the Cardinals some money. Talking about a guy that would have been or is arbitration eligible. Good sinking action on that pitch.
Yeah. And that's what you like. When he's effective, he keeps the ball down. So when they do hit it, many times it'll be pounded on the ground. Keep the ball in the ballpark. Doesn't walk many. You can be very useful here.
1-2 pitch. Got him. Strikes out Gonzalez.
Every time you're on that mound, you're auditioning not only for your own ball club, but for those scouts in the stands. And you get a great hitter like Gonzalez, fools, and take a weak swing like that, that gets people's attention. Ludwig, good night. 2 for 2 and a walk. On base 3 times.
Salas seems to have a little extra giddy up tonight, doesn't he?
Yes. That was 94. The 92. That's about it. But it looks like a little extra, little late movement.
Strike 2.
Got our home plate umpire, Tom Hallion, might have hit him in the chest or someplace else in the body. And Greg Hawks out there for Morrow. I got right underneath, right around the throat region. Nope, just the chest.
In that unprotected area too, around the arm almost.
Yes, yeah, you just kind of almost get pinched in there. And
Tom Hallion, this may cut into that incredible third strike call that he has, where he looks like he's a former heavyweight boxer and throwing an uppercut like Mike Tyson.
Not quite the same result.
No. Ah, he's tough.
That's what you always say.
These guys are tough. Nothing in 2 with 2 outs.
And I didn't have time. I didn't go talk to the umpires today.
Oh yeah, that was your homework.
I'd like to go into it. I mean, they're good guys. Sometimes you learn a little bit. Sometimes you get you can go over and ask about a play.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Ludwig. Popped it up. On the infield, Miles. He has it. Bottom of the 8th. Good work by Salas in this bullpen. It's 11-3. And Skip Schumacher, John Jay, everybody with hits. Pujols, Holiday, Rasmus, Molina, 4 for 4, 5 RBIs. Green goes 1 for 2. He was in the starting lineup, took over. Police took over for him, and then Brendan Ryan 1 for 4 with a single and a run. That's a look at our in-game box score presented by Mass Mutual.
You'd like to see it with all those hits, 15 hits, 11 runs. Everyone on the Cardinals side feels like they've contributed. I guess the early consolation for San Diego is that Milwaukee has a early 1-0 lead in the Bay Area. Colorado is leading at LA 2-1. Both those games are in the second inning. And the Cardinals faithful like the score that it's Astros 5-3. Cincy batting in the 8th inning down in Texas.
Colby with a triple tonight. Walk and a run scored, single and a run scored, so 3 runs scored tonight. Franklin getting loose in the bullpen. Base hit. Big night for Colby Rasmus.
His 3 hits. On base 4 times with 3 runs scored.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By AT&T Mobility. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Stewart is at first, and Norfie has taken over at right field, and now this is Nick Stavanoa. Nobody out and a runner at first. Up the middle. A flip to second. Oh, my. Almost an amazing play.
You're absolutely right about that. Cabrera just did an outstanding job. That ball looked like it was going to scoot on through, but another base hit for the pinch hit specialist, Stavanoa. Look at that. Spears it, and look at with a blind flip from behind right to his second baseman covering, just a little bit slow, and good hustle by Rasmus to save the base hit for Stavanoa.
Well, that was close, too.
But still, a very, very nice play by the young shortstop.
Feliz, base hit. Here comes Colby. Throw to the plate, cut off. Cardinals add to their lead.
See right there that Rasmus is safe. Salazar reaching out there, holds on to the ball, but Colby beats it out. That's a 14th pinch hit base hit for Stavanoa. Feliz drives in Rasmus for the Cardinals' 12th run on 18 hits. And Miles will get his second plate appearance.
Swing and a miss. Miles has popped out. 0 for 1.
Miles had the great August. Search for a hit now. He's 0 for his last 12. Batted .357 in August. Aaron hasn't recorded a hit since August 1st. Games, and this is his 13th at bat.
Hits it out of play. And a grounded at first. Only play to go to the bag for the first out on a 1-2 pitch. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Brendan Ryan with a single, run scored, only hit tonight. That was back in the second inning when Bud Black saw Latos lifted after an inning of the third. And Brendan Ryan would hit twice in the inning. Upstairs, watch out for ball 1. Runners at second and third, 12-3 St. Louis. Cardinals with 3 runs in the first. They had 8 after 2 innings. Added another in the fourth. 2 in the 6th and 1 in the 8th. Foul ball off of Brendan's foot.
Suppan will get it to start tomorrow, as Jaime Garcia will be skipped one time and reevaluated.
Now, what was your take on what a lot of people in baseball are talking about? Derek Jeter acting like he was hit by a pitch. Not sure if you saw it or viewers, but acted like he was hit by a pitch. It actually hit the bat. He was shaking his hand. It was a key game against Tampa Bay. And he wound up taking first base. Joe Madden came out. Rays manager argued. Replay clearly showed it hit the bat and not any part of Jeter's body. Went off the knob of the bat.
It's part of the game. If you can get away with it, especially when you're talking about a pennant race, you're going to just say no. You know, I'll just accept it. You know, it's gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it. But I just say it's a smart player trying to help his team win.
Sure. Crowd tonight of 37,806. And the Cardinals have given them plenty of offense with 18 hits tonight and 12 runs.
It's like, you know, it's umpire's responsibility to get out there, mad, and try and make your case. You're asking for help.
3-2 pitch is hit to short from the outfield grass. Ryan retired, but a run scores. They're in the top of the 8th, and Houston leads Cincinnati 5-3. Milwaukee top of the 3rd, and they lead the Giants 1-0.
Still saying you aren't cheating unless you're caught.
There you go. You know, we see it all the time. We've seen it earlier this year with players that acted like a foul ball hit their foot, and it wasn't even close.
Do whatever you can to get on base.
I'm assuming that Al Hrabosky will go with Yadier Molina's career high in RBIs, 5 tonight, as the Hungo Award winner.
Still in the computer brain, contemplating, weighing the averages. Now Westbrook had that 8 shutout innings last night. Holiday can't deny he's got a 9-game inning streak. What about that, partner?
But the first time he's ever had 5 RBIs in a game,
well,
you would deny him the Hungo?
Possibly. You know, I mean, maybe I have such great faith in him that I think he'll be doing it frequently. He does have a little 2-game hitting streak going.
2-2.
God, he did drive in 2 runs with the bases loaded single last night. Remember, he reached base all 4 plate appearances on Monday with 2 singles, a double. There's Jake. Finally got a whole bunch of run support, 4 runs. You know what? There's only one time in his 9 starts he has allowed 4 runs. And every time else, it's been 3 runs or less. If he would have gotten the run support he got last night, he would be 8-0 with 1 no decision. And then you look at tonight, we got 13 runs. So
it's the highest hit total of the season, 18 hits, and it comes in a start against Matt Latos.
And you know what? There are several times with Westbrook where he didn't get any run support and you got bad defense behind him.
Well, his record could be a lot better, and really, he's given the Cardinals what they expected.
Exactly. Now, I went on record saying I didn't like the trade just because I thought, you know, not any reflection on him. He's been better than advertised. He's been great. But you have to score runs to win.
Schumacher out to deep right, and that will get down. It's a ground rule double. Feliz will score. The Cardinals add to their lead, 14 runs tonight. You can see this hit the Shane Company sign, the official jeweler of the St. Louis Cardinals, and one hops over the wall and hits that red sign, the Shane Company side.
Right there above the wall, the ground rule double. Schumacher trades places. His 40th RBI of the year. And I just felt like the Cardinals' inconsistent offense, and you took out one of their biggest bats, and definitely every opposing manager, feared the potential of Ryan Ludwig, and he's batting .381 with runners in scoring position. So it's also the fact that Ryan Ludwig playing every day, he has 5 chances to every one. 5 games he could go out there and help you win, to the 1 game every 5 that a starting pitcher starts. And a very good player, defensive player in the field, a great teammate, good guy in the clubhouse. It was never we totally understood why the Cardinals felt they needed pitching, and they were right about that. But and Mo and I have talked about it. You try to do what's best, and even though it didn't work out because you didn't have the run support, it still wasn't that it was a bad decision. I didn't like it. Eckstein holding court.
Popped up by Randy Wynn on the infield. We go to the 9th. 14-3. Cardinals on top. Looks like Franklin is coming in.
Stadium coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Parris and Rick Horton are at Lumiere Place. Yachty's career night, they'll break that down. Kyle Oates getting offensive support and loving it, and somebody is taking home a hungo. Ryan Franklin on to do the pitching for the Cardinals as we send it back to Dan and Al, guys.
Okay, Jim, thanks. And Tony La Russa coming up with the post-game show. We'll hear his comments.
Well, Frankie needs to work. Last time he pitched was Saturday in Atlanta, where he had 3 strikeouts and 2 shutout innings. Returned as he was excused for a couple days to take care of some personal business back at home. Everything's fine, and now a little tune-up and close out this victory.
It's Chase Headley. And here we go in the top of the 9th. All St. Louis 14-3. So the Cardinals look like they're going to take the first 2 games of this 4-game series. That's pretty well hit. Right center, and that ball is gone. Home run for Chase Headley, his 11th this year. Makes it 14-4.
Sees it's over the fence, slows up, right over the middle of the plate. We talk about Frankie, you know, it just, this year it's not one of those situations where you worry about him being overworked. Anything, he's underworked again. And it's a little different situation as he hadn't pitched since Saturday. He's been away from the club for a little bit, but because he's not your prototypical closer that just has a trick pitch or just blows you away. So reliant on his command. And when you haven't pitched for 6 days, it's way too long. He loses that pinpoint control, and you will have a tendency to groove a few more pitches. But it's just, when you haven't pitched in this long, you got to put up with the consequences. He'll be better tomorrow.
1 ball, 1 strike on Hairston. Takes a pitch low.
Scott Hairston. 3-generation family. Baseball family.
And that pitch was up. And hit out to left. Scott Hairston stops at first.
Feliz, even though he's known for his glove and he's second best fielding percentage in the National League, doesn't want to get in front of this ball. And reactionary position, you got only time to take 1 step, a dive, tried to backhand it. That looked like he could have taken a step over there and tried to square up to it, but allows the ball to play him and on through.
Error charge to Pedro Feliz.
Score an error on that one, and I based it on the one earlier where Albert ranged so far to his right. But surprising me that nobody hits 400.
One ball and 2 strikes on Aaron Cunningham. Cunningham has popped out. He's doubled and also grounded out. Crowd of over 37,000 here this evening. 14-4 Redbirds. Kyle Loesch is in line for the victory. Latos would take the loss. Loesch would go to 4-7. Latos would drop to 14-7. Durango is on deck. Two. Ground ball. Feliz gets the lead man out at second. No play at first. It's not an easy play there to get that lead runner.
That had to make Faith Robbins a lot better. Should feel better about that play.
Yadier Molina, our player of the game, presented by Budweiser. 4 for 4, pair of doubles and 5 RBIs. Those 5 RBIs a career high. And Yadier Molina is our Budweiser player of the game.
That takes pressure off me now. He may have lost the hundo now that he got the Budweiser player of the game. You never know.
Here's Durango, their speedster. I know you've been in pressure spots many times on the baseball diamond, but nothing like trying to name that hungo.
Bloggers were trying to really get me to pinpoint how we make that selection.
And what did you tell them?
It's a secret.
Houston beat Cincinnati 5-3.
Still hope.
As crazy as it sounds, the Cardinals would have a chance to go into Monday's game and be 4 out. Now, if you get to 4 out with a couple of weeks to play, you got a chance. Cardinals, though, have to go on the road, and they'll play teams that are sub 500.
Tony doesn't want Franklin to throw too many pitches. McDougal and Miller up.
In the dirt.
Tough to double up this speedster. We said he had 19 major league hits, some like 9 or 10 of them were infield.
But he's the perfect call-up in September.
Sure.
Guy with speed that can steal you a base or two. Top of the 4th, Milwaukee leading the Giants.
He had 300 at Portland this year, and 9 of his 18 major league hits have been infield hits. Of course, there have been guys that speedsters that become pinch running specialists.
That's back to Franklin.
Double play, maybe.
On to first, they get the double play. And the Cardinals hold on for the win as they put up 14 runs, 19 hits, and win it 14-4. They do get the double play to end it. Post-game show is coming up.